All right guys, welcome back to the show. Welcome back, and happy new year, happy 2023. I wanted to do a little update. There was a brother KR, he was asking earlier on, and it's true that I haven't sent any updates or anything, so of course a lot of people are probably getting a bit concerned about what's going on. Now I'm one of those, you should know already, that if I say something or if I've done something, then I stand by it, because obviously I don't just about say anything random. I don't want to be, you know, I'm not trying to be right all the time. I'm happy to be wrong, but I don't believe that I should be changing my decisions or my mind every 2 minutes. So sometimes what I'll do is I come online and I'll say something on YouTube or anything. I'll say something, and yeah, I'll just carry on with it, right? It's just what I said, that's it, I'm going to stand by it. So that's how it is you know, for me, I believe that when you say something, you should take responsibility and you should stand by what you say. Whether you're right or wrong, it doesn't matter, right? If you're wrong, you apologize and you say, well guys, hands up, I was wrong. If you're right, then good luck to everybody, because you are right. So it's pretty simple. Now I want to talk about the market currently, and you know, this is going to be on a bigger scale, right? So I'm not talking about your daily stuff, because daily, yes, markets are currently stagnant, they're not really doing much, right? When we're doing daily moves, we're within a $500 range on Bitcoin, right? And I want to talk about Bitcoin only, not much about crypto, because there's too many, right? There's too many to talk about. I mean, this time last year, I think we had like 3,000 or 4,000 coins, and look where we are now. We have 22,000 plus coins, and the market is just keep on growing and growing. Now a lot of these coins, they're completely useless, right? That's the thing, they're completely useless, and they have been pulling liquidity from Bitcoin. So the more coins we have, the more Bitcoin suffers, the more the whole entire crypto industry suffers. And what I mean by that is the money that would have potentially been in Bitcoin is not. It's now going into other altcoins, which people are promoting, or people believe, right? So people who are investing, they also believe that this could be the new Bitcoin, because it's all about how much more gains can we have. What they don't realize is a lot of these gains have already happened, right? When you've got VCs and venture capitals and all sorts investing into these protocols, they are already making their money. They've already made 100x on it. So you are now betting on that fact that they've already done 100x. It's too late. You're not going to be able to make that. Now, I believe that a lot of these coins have to go. Once they go, you will see the money come back to the original, come back to the most stable, which is BTC. The most stable cryptocurrency out there, in my opinion, is BTC. But we have other problems in the market as well. For example, if you look at the total market cap right now, you go to coin market cap or anything like this, what you will notice is how Bitcoin is sitting at number 1, Ethereum is sitting at number 2, and then you see Tether sitting at number 3, and you see USDC coin sitting at number 4, right? I don't even need to go beyond that. That's all we need to see. When we see that Tether and USDC are both sitting at number 3 and number 4 position, we understand that there's a problem. What the problem that we see is that the money that should have been in Bitcoin and should have been in Ethereum is currently sitting in USD. That is only indicating the market is set, ready to go. However, everybody's sitting on USDC. Now, on USDC, there are actually other fundamental factors why USDC is actually quite valuable. So right now, what we see is globally, money is collapsing. A lot of people, you know, a lot of countries out there, a lot of these sovereign countries where they have their own currency, they are not stable at this present moment. There is a lot of issues going on. Their valuation for those currencies are dropping rapidly, while US valuation is increasing. So the dollar is getting stronger against every other currency. Let's just put it that way. So by being in dollar, you will end up making a lot more in your local currency. Put it this way, your local currency, right? And that's a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing means that you know, people are holding on to more USD, which means more value, more value proposition in the sense that you will actually be able to buy more, which is good, right? But it's dangerous at the same time. It's very, very dangerous at the same time. So we know that there's approximately just over $100 billion sitting in actual dollar peg coins. If that money comes back, which is currently 1/3 of the Bitcoin's valuation, so if that money does come back, we will see the market shift. Remember, it's 1/3 of Bitcoin's value right now. So it has the potential to pump the market at least 50% from here, right? If not even more. So for me, the one signal that I'm actually looking for right now is position of where these dollar coins are, right? So if USDT and what's the other one, USDC, right, and BUSD as well, but if you see any dollar coins sitting at number 2 and number 3 at this present moment, we know we have a problem on our hands. Means the market is ready to go, yet it's not moving yet. Once we start seeing these coins drop in position, drop in rank, so if they start dropping from 3rd place, 4th place to 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10, anything below 10, so if they can go to close to 10 or below 10, then you know you have your confirmation money is filtering back in, right? This means people are now dropping their currency, dropping their USDC, and are going to be going into BTC or Ethereum, whatever you want to say. I'm not favoriting anything. Of course, I would differentiate. I would say that Bitcoin is Bitcoin and everything else is everything else, right? So for me, I actually, I've bet large, very big on BTC, right? For me, I believe that BTC is going to be still standing there without any issues. There are certain problems in the actual crypto sphere, the macro problems that we see, which means centralization. Even though a lot of these protocols are decentralized or claim to be decentralized, they have centralized founders, they have centralized entities, someone who you can go and grab if you need to, right? Someone who you can, manipulate, or someone who you can put into the news or something, or disgrace or do whatever, in order to basically have the protocol itself suffer, right? So for example, if somebody turns around and says something bad about Vitalik Buterin or any of those Ethereum Foundation founders as well, right? If they say something bad or something negative comes out, the entire protocol suffers. So we see this is a problem. However, we see the complete opposite. BTC, there is no such thing as a bad news in BTC, right? Yes, people get hacked, this, that, whatever, you lose money. That's not really bad news. When it comes to protocol level, there's nothing but good news. BTC still is the only and the most decentralized coin out there. There's no founders, right? Well, at least there's no Satoshi, not to be seen yet. So those are the kind of things we look at. I mean, I'm actually looking at, and I'm saying, well, it's actually a lot more stronger. Of course, it's a bet, right? Bet myself with other people, but it's a bet where we're saying that, BTC could be it or it could not be, right? One or the other. And there's a big debate at this present moment where a lot of people feel that BTC can't be taken down. It is going to stay strong. It will go through a lot of manipulation. A lot of governments would want to take control over it, and they are doing it right now. A lot of banks are talking about actually having it on their balance sheets. So banks will be soon offering you BTC by whatever means necessary, or however way they do it. I'm not going into that right now. But that's what's going to happen. BTC is going to be part of your part of the bank's portfolio. That's what BTC is going to be. Whereas in Ethereum and all the others, we haven't really seen much of that. Now there has been conversation about the peg coins, the dollar peg coins, right? But I don't think that's going to come to fruition, solely because if they release a CBDC, a central bank digital dollar, then they don't really need any of these Tether or USDC, right? When you have a government established cryptocurrency or a digital dollar, which can control certain aspects of that dollar, why do you need to have a cryptocurrency or a Tether coin? You wouldn't need to. Depends on how easy or hard they make it. but there was always going to be room for BTC. So obviously you're looking at my chart, you can see RSI, stochastic RSI sitting on there. Now you can see how this is on a monthly chart, BTC, and how the yellow line, which is an RSI line, has come to the perfect zone where we need it to be in order for us to be bullish. Now I am bullish in that sense that, you know, BTC has come to the right moment. It might potentially drop below the line. If it does, I'm not concerned. However, now we can see signs that it has more room to actually move up. And what I see is, if you look at the stochastic RSI, the blue line right now, you can see, yes, it's leading and it's actually on the bottom, right? Which means it's bearish. And we are currently slightly bearish, but we've come and touched the previous low level, or almost close enough. That is an indication to tell us that the market could now easily reverse back up and the blue line could flip back up. But this blue line is a bit confusing because it's a monthly blue line. So what you'll notice is this line is not going to change for this entire month. By the time it does change, right, it will already be too late. So we can only go based on probabilities, and this is one of the reasons why I have this chart on and I see all these probabilities right now. Right? And as I said, there are so many more macro factors as well, rules, regulations, and all sorts of crypto exchange problems and this, that. I'm not even going into any of those. All I'm saying is what I see right now. I see BTC doesn't have a problem. I see, you know, Ethereum does have some problem, and other cryptocurrencies do have some problems, but also I'm kind of neglecting all of them. I'm saying, well, it doesn't really matter, solely because my portfolio right now doesn't have any of these altcoins. Maybe a few change here, loose change here and there, but I don't have any of these things. So I'm only focusing on BTC right now, and I'm focusing on the USD, the dollar coins, right? Because I know that when these dollar coins start moving to the lower ranks, right, or at least close to the top 10 level, all right, I know that the money has now started to shift into other assets, unless people are now cashing out and taking to the banks. Then it's a whole different story. But I don't think that's going to happen, because it's a lot more easier for people to stay in the crypto sphere in order to play the game properly, rather than come in and out. Because every time they come in and out, there is expenses associated with it, and the expenses are taxes and so on and so forth, right? So you don't really want to get into this. I know a lot of people might say, well, you know, it's not going to be much, but no, believe me, it's a lot, right? Especially when you're a big player. If you've got 20, 30%, 40% tax, that's a lot of money. On top of that, you've got fees and everything. They all add up. So for that reason, I think, you know, that, excuse me one second. Yeah, for that reason, I think that a lot of people are not going to come out of dollar. Instead, they're just going to shift into more crypto, because that's the only way you're going to make more money. Now, I want to talk about something else as well, because this is more of a gut feeling than anything else, right? Of course, it's based on some macro factors that I'm looking at, you know, how the world is going to change. I've talked about the global Great Reset and all sorts of other stuff. So there is other stuff going on, right? I can put my tinfoil hat and talk about that, but I'm not going to do that right now, because I know that a lot of people don't appreciate that. So I'm going to keep my theories to myself. But what I am going to say is this, that when this big reset happens, right, it's not just going to be a reset in money, as I believe it will be. I think it's going to be a bigger reset in pretty much everything, right? Humanity itself. There's going to be this big reset in humanity itself. And I don't think it's going to play out as quick as we originally thought. So we thought that, okay, there's going to be a great reset, boom, they're going to change everything. No, it's not going to happen overnight. I think whatever's going to play out might even play out for another, I don't know, at least 5 years to potentially even a decade from now, all right, if not even more. The reason I think 5 years is because I'm just trying to play with my crypto mind, and I'm trying to say, okay, if I'm going to put another 4-year cycle, where would that take me? You know, so based on a 4-year crypto cycle and a Bitcoin cycle, what I am seeing is this should be the start of a new bull market. Of course, we need to start making higher lows in order for us to get there. So the reason we say this is because our high, previous high, was 69,000. So anything that is pointing towards that and it's starting to creep up is going to be a higher low for us, right? So we want to get as many higher lows as possible and climb up towards the $69,000, which is going to happen. But I think the big reset that we're looking at, right, may actually accelerate. And this is the key point here, right? It may actually accelerate Bitcoin's growth, right? And it will actually kind of suffocate other cryptos that are in the market, the altcoins that are in the market. They will suffocate. A lot of them will not survive. And this has got nothing to do with regulation. It's just going to be how the money works, right? And I think once this reset kicks in, what you will notice is how BTC accelerates and potentially even goes to, I don't know, 100K, 150, 200K, right? And of course, guys, this is not a financial advice at all. This is just what I'm seeing on the macro factors. Now, I can sit here and explain, and I will explain a little bit, right? So I've made a video some time ago, actually. I made a video and I said why I believe Bitcoin will be worth £72,000 or $100,000 in 5 years' time. I mentioned this, right? And I think this same scenario that I actually thought about at that time is actually playing out. And it's quite fascinating how everything is kind of falling into place. The way I see it is we have this monetary system change, right? You know, it happens every 100 years or so, whatever, or a couple of 100 years. We have this money change, right? So we're gonna have a money change where, you know, now we don't require any more physical cash or whatnot and this and that. The whole money system changes. Once the money system changes, people will still require cash, right? So if we do enter a cashless society by the year 2025, 2026, as some of the CBDCs producers are saying, right, or the countries that are saying, yes, we're going to initiate or we're going to activate around this time. Sorry guys, if there's any noise or anything in the background, that's because I'm driving. I've been on a long drive, so apologies for the noise in the back, but if you are keen on listening to this to the end, then great. So these banks that are doing the CBDCs, obviously they're going to take cash away completely. So you're going to come to a point where we may not need multiple credit cards or multiple this or multiple that. We may not even need multiple bank accounts. We might only have one bank account, right? Because it's all the same thing. It doesn't matter if you have 50 or if you have one, they can see, right? So it might turn into this kind of a situation. And also cash, right now, cash is king. You can go and do whatever with cash. And one of the biggest money laundering systems out there is cash, basically. So if anyone's going to launder money, it's going to be cash, because cash is untraceable. And the whole purpose of CBDC is so they can trace the money, right? So I think they're going to be cashless, and if they do become cashless, then you need an alternative form of cash. People are innovative, right? And innovation, some of the innovations already exist there. So now I know people have talked about like privacy coins and this, that, whatever. Yeah, maybe they will also kick off as well. Maybe Monero will just push off, right? You know, go right to the moon. But there will always be a need for this alternative cash, and I think that's where some of the established cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Monero, you know, Ethereum, whatever, right? They will come in play, right? So, you know, and it's got nothing to do with people being dodgy or anything. It's just cash. It's just an alternative means of currency that one or other people accept. Like, you know, it's going to be more like a barter system, but with crypto. So there's always a room, and that is what I believe will accelerate the growth even further. And don't forget the fact that the market is growing. The amount of new wallets, the amount of people holding is growing, right? So when you start seeing this, that how the market is growing, you know, in a very steady pace. I wouldn't say a rapid pace, because we don't actually have the room to grow rapidly, because there's only a limited number of cryptocurrency, limited number of Bitcoin available, right? So you won't see this massive growth because you can't really have any more than what's out there. And this is the thing. So the demand will grow and the supply will never meet. So when that happens, I think it will basically accelerate the price action of Bitcoin, and that's the trigger that we're going to have, or the we like to call it the black swan event that we're going to have, is actually going to be the great reset, or whatever, or the money reset, or the money revolution, or money evolution, or whatever you want to call it. That's what it's going to be. So that's what I'm seeing. It should be very interesting. I want to see how interesting it is, but you know, that's what I see. That's how I think this is going to play out. And I've mentioned this a few times as well, and there are you know, that there are actual bets out there, and this is one of the reasons why I've been fairly quiet on what I say, you know, because there's a lot of things that could, you know, could go for you or go against you, right? So one or the other. And remember, I've never been on YouTube to what do you call this, to earn a living or anything like this, right? I know a lot of the guys are doing YouTube because that's their bread and butter. They're there every day. Not myself. This is one of the reasons why it's been a lot harder, especially for me, because I don't depend on YouTube. I don't depend on any of this stuff. You know, for me, I depend more on Bitcoin's price action, if that makes any sense, right? So it's very hard. It's very hard. But other than that, guys, I hope the information that you received here today was informative enough, and I hope that it does help you understand that, you know, just be cautious on what you buy or what you hold, especially the altcoins, right? If they are going to do anything great, then yeah, of course they're going to do great. But remember this, just in the back of your head, that 99% of all of these cryptocurrencies could potentially just vanish, you know, vanish into thin air completely, and most of the time they will take your money and go. There's nobody's running a honest cryptocurrency project out there. Everybody just wants to grow. You know, it's sad because I have been attempting and doing my best to launch our own honest cryptocurrency. I mean, we could even call it honest, but yeah, honest cryptocurrency. Sadly, it hasn't really worked out, and I'm also having issues with some of the development guys and everything as well. So when we get there, we get there. You know, when we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. But for now, I don't see anything. I'm not too fussed anyway because of that. Just leaving it as it is. And yeah, just hoping for the best, basically. So of course, when everybody's around, when everyone's ready, we will definitely announce something and do something. But for now, it's gonna be kind of it's just sitting there. It's just stable, just sitting there. Nothing much is happening. But yeah, I hope all of this kind of makes sense. I know I don't make the best videos out there. My production quality is rubbish. A lot of people have talked about it, but you know what, none of that matters. As I mentioned, I'm not here to earn a revenue or anything from what do you call this, YouTube or whatnot. And the information I'm giving to you is just for public knowledge. If it helps you, it helps you. This is not a financial advice. I don't do financial advice. So yeah, that's it basically. But just keep an eye on the USDT and USDC coins, even BUSD or whatever. Remember, keep an eye on those, because when they start dropping in rank on the coin market cap, that is your signal that they're moving into something else. But of course, have a look at the greater trends as well, like other stuff in the market. So you need to keep an eye on your financial stuff in the market. For example, recently I've noticed how the pound is losing against the dollar, right? Pound is losing big time against the dollar. That's something I'm looking at. So if the pound is losing its valuation against the dollar, what shall I do right now? You know, so currently, obviously, you guys should know this for some time now. I've been mentioning how I've been sitting on dollar. I'm still on dollar, so I'm doing okay. Yes, briefly we did, the dollar did suffer, but dollar bounced back very fast, and that's an indication that the other coins that are like, you know, British pounds and this and that, they're not strong enough right now. So if the dollar bounced and it just went back to normal, then yeah, I would say, okay, dollar's not strong, dollar's losing, but somehow dollar's managing to hold itself, whereas in other coins are actually losing value. So keep an eye on all of those things. It's very, very important. how these things move out. But yeah, other than that, I'm not going to mention any coins or anything like that. Any other coins, like, you know, some of the coins are pumping hard. Just going to be cautious, just going to sit back, just going to watch what happens. I do have my picks of altcoins that I would love to pick up, but I am going to wait at least for another 2-3 weeks, you know, potentially to the end of this month, because a lot of the January tax returns and whatnot that needs to be done hasn't kind of cycled into the market yet. So we need to see the impact of what's been declared, what hasn't been declared, by the end of January, and then we've also got around April as well. So we're gonna have to see what happens there. But other than that, I'm just holding tight. I'm holding back because I think there are opportunities out there to do something good, especially when it comes to certain cryptos. We can pick them up for discounts as long as we just hold tight for a little bit, you know, because it's all about patience. Remember guys, I've talked about this many times, right? It's all about patience, right? If you don't have the patience to wait, then you won't actually be able to reap the best fruits, right? Because some of the best fruits on the planet are from trees that take forever to actually produce the fruit. So that's what we want to do. We want the best fruits, and that means that we have to be patient. However, just look at this, and then just look at this, and just imagine what could happen in this particular zone here. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. That's all you need to focus on. Other than that, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on another one very soon. Adios, my amigos.